Hello and welcome to What the Fa with Gino. Remember, fa is a derivative of the Italian verb fare, which means to do or to make. Fa means you do or you make. I don't state this every episode, but I should because a lot of people don't know it. They're just joining in. And these are moments in the news that make me go, what the fa? Right? Now, I did notice in the news, and I have several, there's so much. I'm just going to try and keep it short as I can, but I did notice in the news that Starbucks can wear Black Lives Matter shirts. That's fine. You support that cause? You're for that cause? Starbucks? Go for it. However, Amazon is now selling Blue Lives Murder shirts. So I guess you can wear them anywhere. Blue Lives Murder. Really? Really. They are pushing this agenda. They're pushing hate towards police and disrespect of police. But I did notice on a lighter side, Chick-fil-A apologized for wearing a Back to Blue shirt. They were caught, one of their employees had a Chick-fil-A Back to Blue shirt on, and they were chastised for it, so they said they would never let them be worn again. But it turns out the Back to Blue, it was a baseball team that they were supporting, but they won't be wearing that anymore, so that's good news. Way to apologize, Chick-fil-A, who I really love, but... You afraid to back to blue? I don't know. You don't want to back to blue? I can understand it. It'll burn you down if you do. Minneapolis, getting back to Minneapolis. They overwhelmingly passed a majority, not even majority, everyone, passed a city council resolution. And let me just read it to you because this is incredible. Police use of force is among the leading causes of death for men of color and black people, including black women, girls, queers, trans, non-binary folks, disabled people, American Indians, immigrants, and Latinos are killed by police at disproportionately higher rates than their white peers. Just think about that. Police use of force is among the leading cause of death for young men of color, black, including black women, girls, queer, trans, non-binary, disabled people, American Indians, immigrants, Latinos, and they're all killed by police in disproportionately higher rates than their white peers, which means they're still killing whites too, which means there is no systemic racism here. Where do they get these stats? We kill anything that moves on the planet. That's what you're saying. Policemen kill anything that moves on the planet in the United States. We kill it. What the fuck? And what bothers me is people are believing this crap. God help us. God help us. There's also somebody on CNN yesterday who said the only way black people can stop this is to resist. Because when you resist, you won't get killed. You hear what she's saying? Not comply with what the police ask you to do if you're committing a crime or some kind of infraction, but no, resist it. Then you won't be killed. CNN reporter. Now, Ray Shard, very sad once again, another person killed. Nobody wants to take a life, and believe me, as a policeman, I didn't want to be involved in a shootout. Didn't want to be involved in a shootout. You don't want to kill somebody. You don't want to hurt anybody. Think about it. You don't want to hurt your kids. You don't want to spank or discipline your kids. Why would you want to take somebody's life? This is like we're going out there to take lives. We're not. But the way they're portraying Rashad, and like I say, not a wrongful shooting. It's sad that he had to die. But he brought that on himself, which I discussed in episode 6. But the only picture I saw of him by the press was him holding his baby girl. Now, understandably, now I see that he's got 4 children, his wife, very sad. And it's going to be sad for them. I know it is. But he was doing 7 years for beating his children. 7 years. He was released after being arrested for cruelty to children. He was released because of the COVID-19, because he was in danger in prison. I thought they were actually, when they released people from prison, it was people who were peaceful, non-threatening people. But I don't know. Anyhow, I see that Craigslist is advertising protesters needed. Here we are. We are Antifa, or Antifa, however you like to say it. We're willing to pay up to 1,000 people $25 an hour for protesters in Lincoln and Omaha. Basically, we want to cause as much chaos and destruction as possible. We have bail funds, legal counsel, everything's all set up. $25 an hour. Placed every night through the Black Lives Matter protest in June 13th. You'll be paid cash nightly. Just got to disrupt things, cause things, do whatever. This is all in support of Black Lives Matter, a peaceful organization. I also saw a gathering. I watched a speech being given at CHOP, formerly known as Chaz, and the speaker asked all white people to take out a $10 bill and give it to a black person in CHOP. What the fuck? White people pay to black people in CHOP. Is that a white person tax? And he absolutely said, I'm looking at your face, I know who you are, and if you don't give, you don't belong here. I don't know, is that extortion? What is that? Is that a crime? By the way, they are beating up anybody who comes in there with an American flag. Cops still not allowed in CHOP. They're not allowed in there anymore. It's sad. Now the mayor of Seattle, which is incredible, she has backed him 100%, called him a love fest and everything else. But there's pictures on the wall now, or not on the wall. Yeah, on the walls. They post them on the walls. They put them on telepoles, whatever. They stick up these things here to get rid of the mayor. The mayor is supporting them, which just goes to show you, even when you support them, you're done. You're out. They don't want you there. You're out. Even though you say it's going to be a love fest, you're out. What the fuck? And I want to get into Georgia now. Georgia, the shoot to kill, the deadly force, the rules of deadly force in Georgia. And everybody's saying, I got into several conversations about this yesterday. Well, the police didn't have to shoot him. They could have got him later. But let me read this to you. This is the law in Georgia. When the officer responsibly believes that the suspect poses an immediate threat of physical violence to the officer or others, if they believe he is an immediate threat, well, they knew he was a threat because he punched the both of them, threw the one like manhandle, but just threw that guy over the other guy on the ground. If you watch the video, he beat them. He beat him down and got away and took a gun from him. But it goes on to say, when you think there's an immediate threat of physical violence of the officer or others, that's the citizens you're sworn to protect, or when there's a probable cause to believe that the suspect has committed a crime, that would be beating up police officers and stealing one of their weapons, involving the affliction or threatened affliction of serious physical harm. He did that. He did that. Now, the argument is, why didn't they just go get him later? They knew who he was. They had his, I don't know that they had his ID, because a lot of times people don't carry their ID or their license, but let's say they had it. They can go get him later. That's not minimizing the threat. Now he goes and he fortifies himself waiting for them to come and get him. Or he leaves and goes down south and goes someplace else, further south, up north to relatives, whatever. He gets out of Dodge. But whatever. If you've seen the news now, police serving warrants are being shot dead. So they had him in custody. You take him in. All he had to do was put his cuffs on. He didn't want to put his cuffs on because he knew he'd be in violation of probation and be sent back to jail. That's why he tried to get away. Shoot him in the back. When he shot, he was turned toward the police, running, facing police, shot at the police officer. The police returned fire. And, by the way, the police officer had shot him with the taser, had no effect on him. I'd love to know the toxicology on this. I really would. But he shot him. He shot an escaping felon that he knew had committed a felony, that he knew was armed. If the policeman was shot in the head with that anywhere and went down, he gets the policeman's gun, shoots the other cop with it. What the fuck? We're here to make arrests. Police are not trained to retreat. We're trained to win. If you're going to enforce the law, you must win. There's no other way to do this. The only way you can possibly, and I don't even know that, it's not going to, whatever you do isn't going to work because they disagree with anything you say. You can just hire all black police officers. No white cops. Or you have a split division, like in the Army. When the Army first had black soldiers, they had black divisions. So you only have blacks handling black jobs. No white people allowed. Will it end? No, because they're trained. When I say they're trained, not the police, the citizens, to go up against them, to not do what they want to do. Don't open that window. Don't step out of that car. Don't go along with them peacefully. I did this job. I did this job 22 years in Philly. And I noticed today that New York, wonderful, they got rid of 600 ACT team members. 600 anti-crime team. Now, an anti-crime team, and I worked 4 years in an anti-crime team in Philadelphia, we were placed in the highest crime areas in the city. We had unbelievable arrests. We took guns off the street. Rapists, robbers, burglars, violent crimes, Part 1 crimes. That's what the anti-crime team does in New York. They just pulled 600 of them. 600 of them, and put them back in a uniform writing tickets somewhere. Now, do you think the crime's going to go up in that area? Not only did they pull them out, they announced it. They announced they're no longer there undercover patrolling these areas. What the fuck? I'm telling you, they're getting what they want. These Marxist groups, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Marxist groups funded by George Soros are getting what they want. They're ruining this country. They're taking down statue, any kind of statue, destroying the history, any kind of statue. They're taking down statues of people who abolished slavery. Anything that's a statue, they're taking it down. What the fuck? People, wake up. Gino, out.